Well, hello, I'm Darren Rovell, and welcome to another 5 in 5, where we pick 5 picks in 5 minutes, and we're presented by BetMGM. It's time for Week 8. Chris, are you wearing a Panthers jersey to taunt me? Is that are you trying to do that to say that last week when what was our lone miss, the Bucks Panthers over that I called, which was over in about 3 minutes when it was very clear that was not happening. Yeah, that's the call of the year for you. You told me I was an idiot. We were last week 4-1. You went 3-0, unfortunately. I went 1-1. I'm 5-9. I'm working my way up after a 0-6 start. And Chris, you're 11-9-1. Pretty good. How do you feel coming off a 3-0 show?
I feel really good, Darren. I was not rocking the jersey to taunt you, but I'm glad I can kind of do double duty.
Okay. Remind all of you that you can tail our picks or tail Chris's picks and fade me at BetMGM, our sponsor, the king of sportsbooks, and they have a great offer for you. For you new users, if you use the code ACTION, you will get a completely risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's right, the code ACTION, ACTION, and your first bet on MGM is risk-free. All right, let's get after it. Chris, what are you going to start us with?
I'm going with the Carolina Panthers plus 4.5 against the Atlanta Falcons. If you want to make PJ Walker look like a backup, then you have to get pressure. And Atlanta's defense does not do that. They are dead last in pressure rate. Walker's passer rating from a clean pocket is 115, so I don't think he'll have too much trouble in this matchup. On the other side of the ball, Carolina is an above average run defense, and they allow the lowest yards per carry to opposing quarterbacks, which is big when you're trying to stop Marcus Mariota. So give me the Carolina Panthers and PJ Walker, who, by the way, is 3-1 against the spread all time as a starter with an average cover margin of over 20 points per game.
Don't hate it, but all of a sudden the Falcons, who are covering everything more than everyone, are now going to go 0-2 here. Okay. I am going to go Giants plus 3 for my pick. Listen, this is very simple. This is what happens in the betting world. A line comes out, and then and the line doesn't seem right, and then all the sharps go, I know why it doesn't seem right, because they're trying to goad the public into thinking that, all the analytics that we worked at, that it's too good to be true. Well, guess what? Last week you agreed with my Giants pick. The Giants covered against the Jaguars, and this week I'm kind of like, okay, like, what do you want to throw at me in regards to Seattle? Yes, I'm thrown off by Geno Smith and how good he's been, okay? But I'm looking at the Giants thing and I'm saying plus 3, they have momentum. They have things that you can't calculate. You cannot calculate when you're doing all those algorithms and mumbo jumbo, and I am a square on this show, and I am going to square up and take the Giants.
I don't know. I think last week was the week to take the Giants. That's why
I knew you were going to say that.
It looks about right to me. It doesn't. I'm not taking the Seahawks, but
well, the Action Network has plus 1.9, that's a significant edge in the gambling world. That 1-1. So I'm liking it. I'm taking it. I'm going to ride it. What do you got for your second pick?
I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals plus 3.5 at the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Cardinals match up very well in this spot. And let's remember, they average 8 more points per game with DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup. The Vikings are second to last in DVOA against number 1 wide receivers. So this should be a great matchup for Hopkins. And on the other side of the ball, Arizona top 3 on defense versus number 1 wide receivers and number 2 receivers. And they're 6th against the run. So Jefferson, Thielen, Cook. I think Arizona is a better defense than they get credit for, because they had that game in week 1 where no one was healthy and they got blown out, and it's kind of messing up their metrics. But this is a solid defense, and you gotta love the Cardinals on the road under Cliff Kingsbury. They are 15-3-2 against the spread as a road underdog, and they've won their last 8 games outright.
Come on. Well, I think Kyler is number 1 out of 87 quarterbacks on the road, I believe, against the spread. So, and you did forget to talk about J.J. Watt's son, K.J. Watt. That's going to give him a little extra juice coming into this game. Do it for K.J. For the second pick, I am going to square myself up again and go -10.5. Yes, across the number for the Bills against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, maybe this is my personal vendetta against Aaron Rodgers, but like, I was so psyched at how bad he's looked. I love, even at the end of the game when they brought in Jordan Love, I love that tension. You look at some of the numbers on Rodgers here. They're 2-5 against the spread through 7 games. That's their worst start of a season since 2000. I just think Aaron Rodgers doesn't have it. And people, like when they tell you when your kids, like, don't play the jersey when you're playing the great team, like, you look at the jersey of the Green Bay Packers and it's intimidating and it's the same guy under the helmet. That's not the same guy and that's not the same team. And Mark Chmura isn't walking out that door. And I think I got 10.5 easy. What do you think?
I actually don't mind it. I know a lot of sharps are going to be on the Packers, but I do think this offense is kind of broken. I don't think they fix it in a week against one of the better defenses in the league. So I don't hate it. Okay,
that's good. We're kind of friendly this week, which is surprising. probably does not bode well for us. Your third pick is?
I'm going Washington +3 at Indianapolis. This is simple. We are getting points to fade a day 3 third string quarterback making his first ever pro start. And the more we hear about this, the more it sounds like starting Sam Ehlinger was a Jim Irsay move more so than a Frank Reich move. And I think that's troublesome for this Colts offense. That's already the worst in the NFL in terms of DVOA. And now you're going to downgrade at quarterback. So tough matchup against Washington's defense that ranks top 5 in pressure rate and top 5 against the run. So, the Colts are going to try to run a lot, but Washington is good against the run. And Taylor Heineke, 7-2 against the spread in his last 9 games. I'm going to roll with him. Give me Washington +3.
See, a lot of times you use the fancy DVOA and everything and all that, and you're crunching. And sometimes you say something so simple, like this is Jim Irsay's move. That is like the Jerry Jones ownership sign of trouble. And you just had to say that. I mean, this could be my biggest bet of the week because that just makes so much sense to me. All right, well, that'll do it for 5 and 5. We didn't get the buzzer. Presented by BetMGM. That's it for week 8. Make sure you check back for week 9 next week, and do subscribe to us on YouTube so you'll never miss an episode of 5 and 5. For Chris Raybon, I'm Darren Rovell. Good luck with all your picks.